Resolution number 78 of 2011, memorializing the Governor of the New York State Legislature to ban hydraulic fracturing within the Owasco Lake watershed. We have a sponsor, Councilor McNabb, second by Councilor Brower.
Council Resolution number 78 of 2011 by Councilor McNabb, seconded by Councilor Brower. Whereas Owasco Lake is the primary source of water supply for thousands of residents in Cayuga County. And whereas the exploration of the development of natural gas wells and shale formations underlying New York State utilized the process of hydraulic fracturing, also known as hydrofracking, in order to extract and access natural gas. And whereas hydraulic fracturing process produces large quantities of hazardous chemically infiltrated water which must be disposed of at public wastewater treatment facilities, which may not remove all hazardous chemicals from the hydrofracked water, which may be discharged into the public water of all adjacent municipalities. And whereas it is necessary to protect Owasco Lake from any possible contamination and a ban on hydraulic fracturing within Owasco Lake watershed is required. Now therefore be it resolved that the Auburn City Council does hereby approve this resolution requesting the Governor and the New York State Legislature to enact and issue a ban on hydraulic fracturing for the development of natural gas wells within the Owasco Lake watershed to protect the waters of Owasco Lake from chemical contamination produced by this process, and be it further resolved that the City Clerk transmit certified copies of this resolution to the Governor and to the New York State Senate and Assembly.
Is there any discussion?
Mayor, just to comment, I don't know why everyone left. This is why they came, was for this. I don't get it. But anyhow, this has been interesting for me, at least. It's making the meetings much more interesting, that's for sure. That's a good thing. About a month and a half ago, I'll say, I've done my own research on this. And one thing I've learned throughout my life is never get your information from a movie, never get your information from certain government agencies, government for that matter. They're not always reliable, that's for sure. Never get your information from certain companies because they tend to obviously distort the facts. And as well as agencies who are often pretty cozy with some of these businesses. My students and I did our own little research on this, on hydrofracking, and it's pretty interesting. And just the whole issue of our environment and how we need to treat our environment. Now, I'm not comfortable in hydrofracking. All right, and I don't care how much revenue it would bring, because there are too many questions. There are too many questions that I have, and you cannot put a dollar amount on public safety. That's for certain. And I am against the hydraulic fracturing, and that's why I will be in support of this resolution, because there's too many uncertainties. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not in favor of exploring the usage of natural gas, because I think it's a God-given resource that we should use, just like our water is a God-given resource that we should protect, and we are to be good stewards of the natural resources that God has blessed this country with, and what we have throughout the world, of course. As far as the issue of drilling, of vertical drilling, I'm not opposed, or I'm not in favor of putting a moratorium on that. I'm not there yet, and I've done my research, and I will continue to do my research. I have very adamant neighbors. I have excellent neighbors who are sharing information with me. But I spent some time down at the treatment plant this week, and talking with our chief operator down there, our director of utilities, and some other personnel members who have, I think, a little bit have been thrown under the bus, okay, and not by the public. The public is doing their job, all right, and this is what the public should be doing. And I think okay, someone said it earlier, this room should be this full for every meeting. Okay, whether it's hydrofracking or tearing down buildings for $1 million and giving away, whatever it may be, this building should be packed for every council meeting. But again, I want to advocate that. I had this senior seasoned citizen come up to me at church, and she asked me, why are we hydrofracking? And I explained to her that we're not doing that. So I think we need to get some things clear here. We are not drilling here in Auburn. We're not going to drill. And some questions I asked our utilities director was, does the wastewater treatment plant accept water from vertical natural gas well drilling operations? And we do. Okay, we do that. And we've done so for quite some time, I think, at least since 1995. I've asked about the, people have mentioned the quality. Councilor Brower has music playing, I have beeps, okay, at her cell phone. I've asked about you've heard tonight many comments about the quality of our drinking water. And we do have excellent drinking water. And we've had this since we've accepted some of this these gas drilling water. I asked the question of how is this affecting our infrastructure down at the filtration plant, and the chief operator down there clearly said to me that there's no peeling of concrete, there's no corrosion around our tanks, there's no rings around our tanks. All the tanks are taken down and inspected each year. Okay, so as far as the question of is it destroying our infrastructure, that is not happening. Okay, now if we were taking the frack water, maybe that would, but again, it's not. I asked some other questions. Are we accepting water from the Marcellus shale formation, and which obviously would be the horizontal frack water, and we are not. I was also told that the wastewater treatment plant is an activated sludge plant, which is very sensitive to toxins. So the plant has not observed any adverse effects due to the treatment of natural gas well water. So in much of the information that was brought up tonight are legitimate concerns, and I'm not saying that. Each company does have its own testing. And the question I'd like to ask, and actually the information I'd like to have verified, is that we take in 8 million gallons of water, correct? Is that...
On average, we treat 8 million gallons per day.
Okay, so what would you say that percentage of that 8 million gallons is well water?
For this year, it was 0.14% as of the end of April. Looked back for the 3 years prior to that, so 2008 would have been 0.12%. I think next 2009 was 0.5%, and I think 2010 was 0.35%.
So
less than 1%.
Less than 1%. So less than 1% of the 8 million gallons of is well water. And if I'm correct, that's about 34,000 gallons per day. Now, and Vicki, I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk, because I think we do need to hear both sides. And I think everyone in this, I'm not going to speak for all of council, but I think we all agree that the horizontal frack water is not something that we should be getting into. Okay? Now, as I was talking to our city employees, they have everything to lose, okay? They have everything to lose. Their careers, their own health, if we were accepting such toxic material. And if you look at the haulers, how many haulers are we having coming in right now?
Are you talking about haulers or
I'm sorry, the well water.
Developers right now, there's one or two. There were primarily this been just one company for this whole year. Chesapeake dropped out. I think Talisman, it might be the only one. There might be Owasco.
Okay, and Mr. Cuddy, if you don't mind, if the Chesapeake stopped coming because of reason that you
They
gave?
did a moratorium on themselves, I think. They decided.
Yes, there was, because of the New York Times article, there's a swelling as
Okay.
And I think the pressure, public awareness of this issue might have compelled them to stop bringing in the wastewater.
Okay.
So that's.
And their wells are in Cayuga County?
Yes, what we found in foils that Cayuga County, Chesapeake owns the wells in Cayuga County, but as in my statement, the majority of wastewater, and you notice that the majority of well water is coming in from Chemung, Seneca, Tioga, and Scuba counties. So, and that's the ones we're concerned with. Just to clarify, the FOIL also reveals that although we're not currently taking in slick water horizontal drilling from the Marcellus shale at this time, we have documentation that we haven't taken directional horizontal drilling from the Trenton Black River formation. So when we get into the vertical, horizontal, and semantically, yes, we have been taking horizontal direction.
I think the bigger concern that's on people's minds, and I'm not so sure there's any difference, is the horizontal hydrofracking. And we are not allowed to take that. If we ever have, I am not aware of it. But I don't think it's a whole lot different than the vertical fracked water. However, you use a lot more, and that might be the concern people have. And the other big concern is the Marcellus shale. I don't know that it's any different than the Utica shale or any of the other shales, but the concerns are that the radiation is higher in that formation.
And that is our concern, the radiation, the salinity, TDSs.
Now, in regards to the volatiles, okay, that's in this, how do we treat this and how is it taken care of?
The water goes through a preliminary treatment, primary treatment, goes through an activated sludge process, which is, for those who don't know, it's actually alive. It's small microorganisms that remove the waste from the water, and they're very sensitive to toxins. It's healthy, as you said earlier, no adverse effects. And I've only been here about 1.5 years, but the plant tells me that we've been taking it, I've heard 15, we have actual records going back to 2000, I'm going to say 2. But some of the people that have been there a lot longer than me think that it's been more like 15 years. We've actually been keeping records of the water coming in and the actual wells and stuff like that since early 2008. But I know we were taking it before that. We just didn't keep the records, the logs.
Okay, now let's say someone slipped us some frack water. Okay, what would happen to the plant? Would the plant somehow detect this? That there's something different here? They slipped us a Mickey, if you will, okay?
I'm not so sure. It's a lot different. I think what I said before, a vertical well and a horizontal well, and I'm not a driller, and I was hoping somebody from the industry would be here tonight. Unfortunately, I'd been away all last week, didn't get a chance to talk to them until early this week, and apparently they couldn't send me yet. But, however, I think that it's the same mix, it's just that there's so much more when you do the horizontal fraction. But I can't verify that without them here. So we would not know any different.
Can we have a driller? Can we have one of these companies come here, representative?
I can ask them, and I did, but yeah, I can ask again.
And that's what I think we need to do. We need to get these people here because we want to hear both sides.
And they also, I reached out to them last week, I think, and 2 of them have gotten back to me, and they are interested in doing another study. And also one of our haulers, who will lose his job if he's no longer delivering this, has also offered to help. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying let's use good science. We have sampled for radiation. Got it here in front of me. There was one day that we were taking well water, and we had 1.52, and the day we didn't, it was under 1, so there is some. But also, interestingly, on the day we were taking well water, the volatiles none of them showed up detectable, but on the day when we weren't taking well water, we had 3 volatiles show up as detectable levels. And metals were similar, less during a day when we were taking well water than a day when we weren't.
Okay, so now explain this for everyone. So you detected it, that doesn't mean it's going into the people's drinking water? Or is it going into the stream?
A detection limit is set, well, laboratory procedures can only detect at a certain level. And I'm going to say, it's right here, but the metals I think are generally in parts per million. The volatiles, I think, let me find it. Parts per billion. Radium is in picocuries per liter. I can't explain what that is, sorry, but so it's what's detectable in a lab. And if it's not detected, it doesn't mean it's not there. It means they can't detect it. And we have limits on our outfall. We are regulated under the state and under EPA, and we meet their limits on these items.
Again, I think we need to have continued dialogue on this. If we can have those people come in too, I'd love to ask them questions.
They said that they will come in and support us, so hopefully we can get them here within a week.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, and I don't need to ask a question, Vicki, you could sit down. But our watershed is unique, and I mentioned this last week because it was 220 square miles of watershed. And in that area, we have farms, some of them quite large. Some of the manure generated by one farm would be about this, almost as much in a day as our own city. Then we have tons of fertilizer causing phosphorus issues everywhere. We have medications. That is a huge point. And we have a culture that wants us to be ill because pharmaceuticals are very profitable, and yet they don't make people well, and they do pollute our waters. And the great thing about this issue is the fact that maybe we will get real about our watershed. We absolutely have to get serious about protecting our water overall. This, what we've been doing is benign. It is. But if fracking grows at all, and really it is a tremendous thing when you think about it, that the reason we don't have the situation that Pennsylvania has is because our State Environmental Quality Review Act, those seeker things, have kept this at bay for a couple of years. We will definitely have this ban. There's no way this is coming into New York State, but we have to be addressing as individuals each person's role in protecting this watershed, all of it. So it's a good moment.
Councilman McNabb.
Vicki, one short question. You mentioned, Vicki, that we don't accept horizontal drilling water. Why don't we accept it? Somebody said we couldn't? Or?
Yeah, the state told us we could not take it, and we cannot take anything from Marcellus shale.
So the state is awake?
Yes. The state has been cut too, so they're actually supposed to have a study done by July 2nd. I'm not convinced that'll happen, which is unfortunate because we're hoping to get some decisions from it.
Vicki, does the state monitor our wastewater treatment plant? Does that matter in the state?
Are they monitoring it?
Yes.
Yes, we have a speeds permits run by the state, and that's who we send all our daily monitoring reports to.
Now, let's say one of these companies came and we found out that they're in violation, right? Then where do they go to dump the stuff?
I don't care.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't care either, but I'm asking, would it be worth their while?
I do know that Watertown did a very in-depth study, and the DEC was very involved with it, and they found no adverse effects, and their council actually did allow that they can continue to take the water, but because of this, Watertown's way up north, they just aren't getting any, so.
Right, but my question is, if a company came in and they violated state law, okay, what would happen to them?
State law, I don't know, they'd probably have to send it out of state then.
What would we do to them?
We would find them.
Right, and
I think it depends
would
on
we cut them off?
I think it depends on what the violation is, but yeah, we would cut them off if it was bad enough.
So if we find out that they're giving us frack water, we cut them
Oh,
off?
yes, because they certify that it isn't. I'm sorry, they certify that it isn't horizontal frack water.
Now, is that that's not a federal violation for lying to us, or?
It is, there's a lot of regulation.
I'm not sure. I'm not a legal person. Sorry.
You know, I failed to mention the fact that we put 13,000 tons of our own sludge through a cleansing process, but none of it adds up in terms of preserving our resources.
Mr. Rossi? No, I'm sorry. No further discussion?
On the resolution.
I'm sorry?
We're going to vote on the resolution.
Oh, yeah, we're going to. I thought Mr. Rossi wanted something to say. So. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilor Graney?
Yes.
Councilor McNabb?
Aye.
Councilor Smith?
Aye.
Councilor Brower?
Aye.
Mayor Quill.
Aye.
Carried.
Council Resolution 79, 2011, authorizing a public hearing on a 2011-2012 recommended city budget. We have a sponsor. Councilor McNabb, second by Councilor Brower.
Council Resolution number 79 of 2011 by Councilor McNabb, seconded by Councilor Brower. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Auburn, New York, that it is hereby authorized that a public hearing be held before the City Council of the City of Auburn, New York on the 9th day of June 2011 at 4:30 p.m. at City Council Chambers, first floor, Memorial City Hall, Auburn, New York, concerning the City Manager's recommended budget 2011-2012, and be it further resolved that the City Clerk is hereby authorized to directed to advertise this resolution in the official newspaper of the City of Auburn in accordance with the governing state and local requirements.
Discussion. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Councilor Graney?
Yes.
Councilor McNabb?
Aye.
Councilor Smith?
Aye.
Councilor Brower?
Aye.
Mayor Quill.
Aye.
Carried.